I think we're live. Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News, today in a live stream format. Why? Well, I was going to record it and post it, but then I was like, why would I do that if I can also go live stream it? It's as simple as that. You know, I usually do these things on the fly anyway, with minimal editing, if any at all. So I thought, why not just do a live update and give you guys everything right from the source, right as it comes out. Having said that, I need to share it over on Twitter really briefly. And yeah, the thumbnail is definitely low effort, as I didn't know what the best thumbnail would be. And also, it is crazy freaking hot. I've told you guys before, most places I stay at, they're pretty hot. And some places this year are just ridiculously hot, so they don't have crazy airco, if you guys get my drift, you know? If you're not in a crazy hotel room, usually, it depends. Actually, Dubai, everything has air conditioning. But here, yeah, it doesn't. So, yeah. But we have a lot of crazy news today. So if you guys are enjoying, your day, hopefully you enjoy this episode as well. Let's actually do a quick poll. You want to start out with the price action, or you want to start out with all the news that I have? Because it's a lot of news. So let me know down below or in the chat box real quick if you'd like news or, talk of the price / my expectations first. And we'll see what the people say, and then we'll go that route. We'll cover both of them. The question is just which one first, news or price? News or price? News or price? News or price? Need, news, need. Why do you guys say need? News. All right. You guys want the weather report. All right, so let's start, I guess, from the get-go. First of all, this is a pretty big deal. VeChain became the first official Layer 1 blockchain partner of the UFC. All right, I really didn't expect this type of update, but apparently UFC and VeChain announced an historic global marketing partnership. So UFC, the world's premier mixed martial arts organization, at VeChain, the leading global sustainability-focused blockchain foundation, today announced a first-of-its-kind long-term partnership that breaks marketing grounds for both brands. This is indeed a very big deal, and we have not seen this before, obviously, as it's the first one to do it. I don't need to go too far into details, except for saying this is pretty big. It says here, through UFC's far-reaching global footprint, VeChain will have meaningful brand visibility within an estimated 900 million households in 175 countries, and apparently providing the blockchain foundation with an unprecedented level of integration into key UFC assets, ranging from live events, including broadcast features and in-arena promotion, to original content distributed to UFC's popular digital and social channels. So this is actually a proper partnership at that as well. It's not some small type of deal or something like that. It's a very, very big ordeal. Very nice. All right. XRP blows. Yeah, we have a lot of different crypto news, guys. I'm just going to go over everything that I have for you guys today. So just stick around here and enjoy. We have a lot of different pieces. And hopefully I'm not lagging too much. I don't know if you guys said bye. I think we're doing good. I think we're doing good. So that's the first part of the day, which I think is a really big deal. Once more, this means visibility by tens or if not, hundreds of millions of people. It says here, in addition, UFC and VeChain will collaborate on a variety of custom and original content featuring UFC talent and athletes that will be distributed across UFC's popular social media channels and digital platforms, reaching nearly 200 million followers worldwide. This can be pretty crazy. It also says here they will have branded presence inside UFC's famous Octagon at all 42 UFC events per year and the 10-event Dana White's Contender Series. Now, I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to be. It just basically says they're going to be involved in everything that the UFC does for a little while. And I'm assuming it's just going to be for 1 year from the get-go, and then they'll most likely extend as time goes on. I'm also not sure if this is a paid promotion piece because it says press release, but whatever, right? It's pretty cool news, at least from my perspective. Then, a little bit over in Hong Kong. Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission releases warning on NFTs. Hong Kong has been kind of controversial regarding crypto. At some point, it was a pretty big hub for fintech companies. Right now, it's definitely not. Singapore and Dubai are definitely the best hubs, so to speak. The lack of clear digital asset regulation has left innovators to stumble forward as they've reached their hands out in the dark Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission. And they've issued a warning on NFTs as they say certain projects may have breached security law. It is true, though. All right, from a certain perspective, a lot of these NFTs are just blatant scams. We know that. We've claimed that a couple dozen times before by now. The only question is it a security or is it just a scam? I think both. There's most likely a couple of projects there which are surely securities, but it's hard for me to say which ones exactly. But scams, well, there's a lot of them. Then again, people are willingly going into these things knowing it's a scam, still buying into it. That kind of makes it less bad, but I digress. Then we have a little bit on Chainlink. They've announced details of a staking program, which is why the price actually pumped yesterday, as this news came out a little bit earlier. The price did, it says here, price went up almost 17% or so over the day. It was pretty big. And that's the thing, though, with some of this news, right? It depends on what type of news we're talking about. But depending on what type of news it is, sometimes you have like a really big spurt where if you're there quick enough, you can actually make money on the move. A lot of people say no, news doesn't matter for the price. I personally think it does. Let's see, for example, this staking announcement that pumped the price by 17%. You can't say that that's nothing, right? At least I don't think so. And now before we move on, I want to quickly let you guys listen to a video. This is an older video. It's not new, but it's something which I thoroughly enjoy and I've watched a lot of times. So I just want to quickly let you guys watch this
Today I'm going to talk
again as well. All right, so let me turn off my microphone.
Today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite topics, the future of investments, the future of money, and specifically cryptocurrencies. I'm going to start with a little bit of my background. I am a trained analyst. After graduating from Harvard, my first job was a commercial property underwriter for general reinsurance. So I am trained in managing high-valued risk. Prior to becoming Treasurer of the United States, I was Managing Director of Investments for a $22 billion firm based in San Francisco. And I was asked by President Obama to be part of the Treasury transition team at the height of the financial crisis. As you heard, I was the longest Senate-confirmed official in the Obama administration. And yes, it is my name on the lower left-hand side of U.S. money. So out of the approximately $2 trillion of U.S. currency in circulation worldwide, my name is approximately on 1.8 trillion. So I can honestly say that no one has made more money than I have. And I want to start by saying I'm also on the board of Ripple, which is XRP, cryptocurrency. But I want to make something very, very clear. Blockchain is here to stay. The train has left the station. You're going to hear me quoted about that all the time. As far as I'm concerned, whether it's fractional real estate, whether it's art, whether it's NFTs, blockchain is not going away. So the question is, how do we take advantage of this?
So, straight to the bat here, you've most likely seen her being quoted a couple of times already in the past, mostly regarding this, the train has left the station. I'm not so sure how I like the comment of, I am on the board of Ripple, which is XRP, the cryptocurrency. It's not, the same thing. I'm not exactly sure what she's talking about in that regard. However, it's mostly regarding the smaller comments that she's made of this technology continuing on. A lot of people don't understand how deeply rooted crypto already is, or at least let's say blockchain technology in the system. I can say specifically XRP or so, but let's kind of digress that. Let's just say blockchain technology is very much rooted inside the system. Many people try to deny it. They're not looking far enough. They're not looking into it enough. They say, no, but these banks are denying, or this, that. I get the question. The most asked question I get as, I guess, a crypto guy, right, is, do you think that the crypto thing will actually continue on, basically, right? That's the number one question that I've gotten in my crypto career, so to speak. Do you think this crypto thing will continue? Don't you think it's over? Don't you think it's kind of done with? That's what I get all the time. And I kind of think it's funny. Just understanding, because we do, how deeply rooted it is in the system, it can't be thought out of anymore. Look at Vita right now, getting that crazy partnership, but also look at how the previous treasurer of the United States is seeing this technology and acknowledging that she knows a lot about money. I don't know. I just wanted to quickly make that clear to a lot of people. There was a tweet from Brad Garlinghouse which came out about 10 minutes ago. All right. While I typically like to steal Ashish Birla's thunder, it only seems fitting that he should get to break this news himself. He's had an incredible impact on Ripple, our products and strategy. I'm grateful. He will continue to do so in his new role on our board of directors. Hey. With that, I'm excited to congratulate Monica Long, who has been a key leader at Ripple for 9 years and is stepping into an expanded role to lead both RippleNet and RippleX to continue building on the great successes of Ashish and the RippleNet team. So, for all of you guys that have been around for a little while, I've covered a lot of this stuff for a long time. Ashish Birla was the one on a lot of those videos explaining things regarding RippleNet and how these things were working, and apparently he let go of a new statement that he's moving roles. After 9 amazing years, I've decided to wrap up my day job at Ripple. Luckily, I'm not going far as I joined the board of directors, where I'll continue to provide input on company's vision plus strategy. I haven't decided what's next, but plan to continue building in crypto. In the past few days, I've had the chance to reflect on where we've come from and how much we've accomplished both as Ripple and as an industry through some memorable moments and launches over the years. And here's a little, I guess, summary is the best way I can phrase it of what's been going on with Ripple for a little while. And by the way, guys, let me know in the chat box real quick what country in the world you're watching from. And if you haven't pressed that like button yet, you don't have to, but I appreciate it a ton as it helps these live streams just be shown to more people. That's about it. It doesn't really hurt you. It doesn't cost you anything. So make sure you press that button if you didn't do that already, if you want to, if you like it. All right. In the past few days, I've had the chance to reflect on everything, where we've come and how much we've accomplished both as Ripple and as an industry through some memorable moments and launches over these years. When I started, the largest crypto exchange, Mt. Gox versus now Binance, daily volume at that point, $2 million. Right now, $70 billion. Market cap at that point, $1.6 billion. Now, $1.3 trillion. This is an early picture of the team in our first ever office. And that's really funny if you start thinking about how things have changed, and how far they've come in this little time period. I know it's been 10 years, but still, to grow as a company this significant, it's not easy for any company, for anybody, so to speak. So they've done a really good job. 2013, within a few weeks of joining, Stripe tried to acquire us. Ultimately, the deal fell apart shortly after this dinner at El Taqueria in San Francisco. But who knows what crypto would look like today if Stripe had gotten into the industry in 2013, which is actually an interesting thought process. Jim McCaleb is actually in that picture as well, which is kind of funny. I guess maybe he was sad that they didn't sell to Stripe, in hindsight, maybe. Ooh, maybe. When he was at the Bitcoin magazine, Vitalik worked out of our office in December of 2013. I remember him talking about early smart contract concepts. We made him an offer to be an intern at Ripple, but couldn't get the visa sorted out, and he'd later speak at our first Swell conference back in 2013 or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember. We piloted Ripple Pay a while back, a functional credit card where you could use XRP to make everyday purchases using the XRP Ledger decentralized exchange to convert any currency in your XRPL wallet into USD. Unfortunately, no card network was willing to come within a 10-foot pole of crypto at the time, which is understandable, but that's a fun thing to kind of realize back upon, that they had this concept and this card before a lot of other guys had it. But that's also one thing that a lot of people don't notice. You know that this card narrative is actually really new? There's a lot of these concepts in crypto that we're talking about banking, like, for example, Crypterium and whatnot, which had the card functionality like set in stone from a get-go. By the way, I lost all my Crypterium tokens, because they had some issues I bought an ICO, but I had a couple of problems with claiming my tokens, and there was no support at the time that was proper, so I basically lost my money on that one, but I digress. When RippleNet first launched crypto liquidity in the market, it was too limited to support crypto-enabled payments at scale. So we laid the foundation for RippleNet with fiat first, while continuing to iterate on a product that would also use crypto liquidity when the timing was right. This is one thing I also like to describe to people very often. Ripple knows the plan, all right? They know utilizing fiat before getting into crypto is a way better idea. And that's actually what they do most of the time, all right? They build itself up through fiat. And as Brad Garlinghouse, I can quote him literally saying, the hardest part is getting them to sign the first contract. The easiest part is, if you're already saving a lot of money and you're enjoying the cooperation with us, why not just save more? And that's exactly what this little part that Ashish kind of quotes there is about as well. They try to fiat approach first and then continue on to go into crypto, because that's the best way to do it. Crypto is such a new technology, and we same thing for the cards. You know how difficult it most likely is to get these things approved? Now it's getting easier. It's getting easier as time goes on. But it's so hard because they are all like, well, but I don't want to take that risk. I don't want to take that risk. As a bigger company as well, moving into some crypto type of state is what they were offering with RippleNet, specifically ODL at that point. XRapid at that point. It was a hard thing to kind of convince people. Now I think it's getting easier as, again, these partnerships are getting every freaking where, but okay. Also in 2018, Hodges hosted an amazing crypto dinner in April with 2-Bit Idiot, Dave Balter, and Gary Gensler. Also Ryan Selkis. I didn't know that was actually his thing. Dave Balter, CEO, investor, board member, Prom Date, Flip Insider, and Metrics DAO. Gary Gensler and others. Selkis was a lot nicer in person, and Gary Gensler was interested in learning about the intersection of crypto and finance. What happened though, right? What happened? Back to Ripple. I'm incredibly proud of the RN, which is RippleNet team, as RippleNet continues to hit new milestones. 2021, we previewed new alpha products like Liquidity Hub, and RippleNet hit $1 billion in monthly volume. We've gone from 3 to 25 plus payout markets for XRP powered payments today, which once more is a 10x growth or so, which is also pretty consistent with what we thought was going to happen. I know in 2021, we actually thought they were going to expand globally, right? But of course, the lawsuit came in 2020, and things are taking a little bit of a slower approach, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day, I think, because slow and steady wins the race. I honestly think they will win eventually, if you guys get my drift, and I'm not too sad to see 25 plus payouts. I always come back to this conversation that I had with one of the VC people, or one of the VC partners, I guess, about, I don't know, a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, which was regarding the fact that Coins.ph was acquired a while ago, and they were so excited to get it acquired. Why? Because of it being able to be connected to all these other payout markets, basically, as Coins.ph is also part of RippleNet's network. Lastly, I want to thank Chris Larson and Brett Guntley-House, who gave me invaluable opportunities and many, many lessons learned along the way. At Ripple, I'm honored to join the board and continuing to be a part of the company. Photos is Brad's first day at Ripple. He's been there for longer than Brad, maybe, huh? I don't even know about that. And finally, to Monica Long, we started at Ripple in the trenches together, just 2 weeks apart. Okay. I can't think of anyone better suited to take the torch to lead the RippleNet team. Monica Long, San Francisco. And Ripple said, the unofficial head of snacks titles carry over to the new board seat, right? Right? It's kind of funny. So, yeah. I guess we'll miss him over at Ripple, being the head of RippleNet, always explaining these new concepts and new pieces to us. But I guess it's the usual part of progress, right? He needs to also expand. So that's nice. Then there was something which I really need to bring to you guys' attention. You guys will know about Terra, right? Who doesn't know about Terra? Do you know that they're now officially under SEC investigation? They were for actually a couple years already. I think 2 years ago, or maybe a year ago, I don't remember. Maybe let's say a year ago. The SEC tried to actually investigate him, basically, by asking him to come sit down and explain some stuff. But Do Kwon was like, I'm in the U.S. right now, but I'm going to be out of there in a little bit, and I'm not coming over to your office. All right, I'm out of there. I'm out of this, However, the SEC was like, well, you can't really play us like that. Come back. All right, come back, sit your ass down. He's like, no, because my jurisdiction is in Singapore, Korea, whatever, not in the U.S. SEC was like, I don't give a crap what you're saying to me. Sit your ass down. And he's like, no. So now they're officially going for some subpoenas, and they're taking this a little step further, as of course a lot of people now lost their money, and the SEC is investigating them for illegal token sales. According to a report by legal news publication Law 360, SEC investigation dates back to September of 2021, when the watchdog served Kwon and TFL with subpoenas. This week, the court ruled that Do Kwon cannot dodge the investigation on the grounds that TFL is a South Korean, now Singaporean entity, given that its customers in the United States were active. The court also dismissed Kwon's allegations that the SEC was not authorized to serve him with a subpoena, and the SEC is specifically probing Terra's Mirror protocol, which allowed trading in tokens tied directly to the price of real-world stocks. A series of exploits last month have rendered Mirror unusable after $92 million was drained from the program. Yeah, so this is mostly going to be a rather big deal, all right? I'm putting the president for you guys here right now. This is going to be a big deal, all right? The fact that he's being investigated by the SEC like this will most likely mean eventually they're going to come with a fat, juicy lawsuit as well. And so that's going to be some very negative publicity for Luna. I'm not saying Luna can do good. I am saying I'll never buy Luna. However, it's kind of funny how the storm has kind of calmed down, right? I mean, you're not really hearing that much negativity about Luna, and the price is also not tanked severely, which kind of means he's gotten away with it, at least for now. And also, the hatred towards him is not as heavy as I would have expected. Him being such a controversial figure that, I would have expected more hatred. There was one article which I think was interesting, untangling the potential effects of these two outcomes. I think that's an interesting little title. So the outcomes, or the questions at hand, are where is the XP price going? Now, I told you guys before about what our most important little retest was. It was this 38.5 or so cent retest for XRP. And right now, we're actually just going sideways, basically sideways from the point at which we've gone for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And we've yet to see some sort of breakout here, which will again be basically set into stone by Bitcoin. If you're wondering, guys, I still, for the XRP price, still expect about a 50% rise over the next month or so. You can see we expected this, I guess May 25th or so is when I put my prediction up. I expected that this week was going to be green, and as of this point, this is also looking green. I don't expect the price to go down too much further, or at least that within this time frame of about a month, it's going to actually turn back around and go green. And I have a couple other charts to kind of explain for that. Bitcoin, the same thing, right? When we had this first candle here, so May 8th, somewhere around that time, I was telling you guys, I think we're going to find another bottom within this little area and then turn back around. At that point, we dipped deeper though, which got me a little bit scared, but because the weekly did not close there, I was still quite confident. And still currently as it stands, I'm expecting the upside for Bitcoin. Let me show you guys another weekly for Bitcoin if I can quickly find it over here, just to show you guys. That's a fun chart that I want to kind of express in just a second. Here's the other weekly. Again, $40,000 is my most important barrier for Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to take too long to get back up there. And once we're back at 40, we're going to easily just tower all the way back towards 75 or something like that for Bitcoin within this year, I honestly believe. Still, just look at the pattern over the last couple of years, right? We've gone only parabolic and only basically better, so to speak. Even in the worst case scenario, I think $40,000 will be achieved rather shortly here again. What I want you guys to put into perspective is that I put this chart up for you guys. Most likely somewhere at the end of 2020. I most likely put this chart up here in June or something, or maybe July of 2020. This little chart right here. Maybe a little bit later. It could be that it was actually August of 2020, but you guys get the idea. And what we did was we replicated, I think, the 2019 move onto 2020 to basically see what the Bitcoin price could do. And we were all crazy excited the price might actually head as high as 25,000 or so within a couple of months. And it's really funny to me to see just how crazy these cryptos have outperformed what the majority of us were expecting. If I look back a couple of months, even a couple of years, I could never have expected the crypto price to be this high. And it's funny how now Bitcoin is at 30,000 and people are like, wow, what is this? Even XRP is at 40 cents and people are like, oh, what is this? But in reality, the price is still doing pretty damn good. All right. XRP is still at a crazy X from a couple of years ago. The only problem is that it hit such a high point in 2017-18, specifically 2018, the 4th of January, I believe it was, that people are kind of skeptical, thinking, oh, the price is so far down. It's like 90% down from the all-time high. I understand. But still, relatively, I think it's doing pretty well. And it's also setting the precedent for the fact that you can go down a significant amount, which we've done in the past so ridiculously many times. But at the end of the day, it will overcome that, and it will do much better over, I guess, longer periods of time. So this is actually from when we were doing the little hearing. I put this down. We were checking the 1 minute chart. Let's actually take this off again. If you're wondering what the next move for Bitcoin is going to be, the S&P and Bitcoin are showcasing the exact same chart. This is over on the 4 hour for Bitcoin, and what you can see is we're just waiting for some sort of breakout. You can draw this little triangle a little bit closer to the top if you'd want to. By the way, that would still work. However, it's mostly the top side of the breakout that I'm wondering for or watching for anyway, and that's going to be close to about 31 point something thousand. And the moment we go above there and get ourselves the confirmation is again when I'm going to open up a long position. Same thing for downside, but the downside is a little bit less critical because the line can be drawn a couple of times. The top side is pretty set in stone. Having said that, yeah, that could be a crazy trade. As again, if we do break above that, I honestly expect $40,000 to come quite soon. There's a couple of small barriers, obviously, like right here, 32,000 or so, just because we've struggled with that a little bit in the near past here. And there's a couple other points, like here, for example, 34,000. And so we can go on for a little bit. But you guys get the ordeal. Once we've broken out, and we're finally away from this little stupid range that we've been in since freaking the beginning of May for like over a month now, that's when we start to get rolling again, start to get some crazy price movement again. That could be juicy. Here's another representation of my upside. Again, I describe it to you guys every single day. I expect the upside for Bitcoin. I expect it to come rather soon rather than later because every single chart is showing that we've hit a nice little bottom. And again, a bottom, it's like a weekly sort of close bottom. We can still get a spike, for example, even towards like 20-something thousand or so, like we saw over in the week of May 9th. But the price just drops like crazy over 1 or so or 2 days. However, I do believe that over the week and the Sunday, basically, it will close a little bit more positively, so to speak, or at least not as low as 21,000 or something of the sort. And here's the shortest term chart, which is the one I'm watching for most keenly. Even though we got faked out once, you could have still made profit on any one of these breakouts, by the way, but maybe not on this one. It just depends a little bit. This is like a clear fake out. What we're waiting for, again, is for Bitcoin to break above exactly 30.5 thousand. It's between 30.5 and 30.6. It's done so a couple of times in the past here with a couple of fake outs, so it's becoming less and less accurate and less of a trade that I am encouraging right now, but it was the one that we've been taking for a little while. It worked out twice. Third time it didn't work, which is, again, pretty good odds still, though, if you're making, profit on that. And we also talked about the stop loss being rather loose because, well, we have a little bit of a range going on here. And I guess most people didn't even get stopped out here. Looking at the people in the trading group, a lot of people are still in this trade. So honestly, let me just say it like this. I expect upside. Let me actually, for 1 second, guys, before I move on, let me quickly, I'm lagging a little bit, some of you guys are saying. Let me go to, I can put this one up for you guys for a second. Just quickly see if there wasn't anything crazy in the screen. No, it's too laggy. Let me go to this one for just a second. I'm just opening 5 articles here just to quickly check if they are not having anything stupid on them, because sometimes I open an article, I'm like, oh, and with a video, I can still edit it out or do something to it. If it's a live stream, I'm a little bit more screwed up, so I have to make sure that it's all set and good. It's all set and good. So there's a couple other things I wanted to share. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson says Ethereum 2.0 will launch no earlier than 2023, more likely 2024. Is the sad truth behind the Ethereum launch? We never know when it's going to happen. Don't expect that just because Vitalik said it's going to be August or October, something like that, that it's actually going to be that way. Just expect it to take a long time because whenever you think you're 99% done, there's another 99% of the work most of the time. So specifically with coding, so just expect it to take longer than expected. And it could be another couple of years. It would not even be too crazy. This is a major announcement from PayPal. PayPal users can now transfer, send, and receive crypto from other wallets and exchanges, which was a very big deal. We all talked about this coming up, and we talked about this could be a very big push for crypto. The fact that the price is not pumping like crazy on an announcement like this is most likely either showing that they're withdrawing a lot and sending it on other exchanges, public exchanges or so, or the fact that the price is being manipulated, which I honestly think. But we'll talk about that a little bit more later, because I have a couple of small pieces I want to share on that. U.S. crypto commodity bill, a milestone for Sector C. 2 U.S. senators have introduced a bipartisan bill that would have created a federal crypto regulatory framework. And basically, people are saying this has really been amazing for crypto. People are really excited about it. 2 senators, Cynthia Lummis and Kirsten Gillibrand of New York, introduced a bipartisan bill, Responsible Financial Innovation Act, on Tuesday. It calls for long-sought federal oversight of crypto assets. And as of this point, it's very exciting, but we don't know how it's going to continue on. We'll have to see over the short term. Nice little picture of the man right there. And then we have exploring the possible reasons behind Ripple co-founder Jim McCaleb selling off his XRP investment. A lot of people actually ask me about that, about why he's selling and, just things akin to Jim McCaleb. There's one thing you should know. Whenever you have very big shares in specific companies, but it's mostly with tokens though. Let's say you have a lot of tokens of one specific crypto and you got them very early. A lot of people would just be happy with the results. I'm saying it like this. Let's say you had 111,000. It's actually pretty accurate. Let's say you have 110,000 Bitcoin, but you've actually made yourself, as an example, an XRP. So which one do you believe in more? Bitcoin that you originally made, or XRP, for example, which you also made? It's XRP and XLM, but let's just give it as a core example of you having 111,000 Bitcoin, for example. Even more maybe, relative, because let's say he had 1.5 million Bitcoin, actually. Maybe that would be more accurate with the actual size of the amount of XRP that he had. So let's say you gave yourself that huge an amount, but you're making yourself something completely different too. Wouldn't you just be satisfied with cashing out parts, which turns out to be billions upon billions of dollars, just continuously? Because why not, right? Because you're satisfied with the result, even though the price might actually pump more. Some people are satisfied and just like to take profit to continue on with other ventures. Maybe this guy is selling his investment in one thing, which had a 70,000% return, or 70,000x even maybe. I'm not so sure exactly what the starting price of XP was. Maybe he's just satisfied. Maybe he's happy. He has his other projects, his other ventures, which he wants to make money on. And maybe he wants to invest in other crazy things. Maybe they're doing a lot of acquisitions. Who knows? It's understandable that he wants to sell. So even though the price might go to $10,000 per coin, maybe he literally doesn't care. Because if you've already made billions upon billions of dollars, well, I can do better, sure, but it could also do worse. Maybe his reasoning. Or, well, maybe you just want to put that money to other uses. And maybe he thinks that the money on XRP can go at like 100-fold, but the money in some specific investments that he can make can go 1,000-fold, maybe, right? So it's not as if it's like completely ununderstandable. It's just the way in which he's doing it is a little bit douchey, some people have said, but it's hard. Just noting from the perspective that he has so much of it and he wants to get rid of it. He wants to get rid of a lot. So yeah, you might say, oh, but it's bad. It's his own money. He can do as he pleases, and I'm not really standing in his way. All right? I'm not standing in his way whatsoever. All right. I think that was it for our news right now. I think I've covered all these pieces. And if you guys have any questions, and also, guys, if you did not yet, make sure you press that like button if you enjoyed the daily crypto news, specifically the stream today. A stream is a lot more tiring, a lot more stressful as well, because you can't undo anything. Even if you make one little mistake in your talk, it's like a bad thing. At least that's what it feels like, but usually it goes pretty well. We haven't really had too many strange streams, except for the one we did 2 days ago with the 7,000 viewers. That was a little bit more stressful, but it did feel pretty cool. I guess we're starting to get used to it, right? As I'm doing more and more streams. CMDR says, can't wait for the SEC and taco stand to be past topics. That's also going to be one fun thing. At some point, all this SEC talk and all this taco stand talk will be behind us. And at that point, there's going to be no more negative, at least a lot less negative pressure for the XP price as well. So right now we're like, oh, but we could just buy more. We could just buy more while it's cheap. At some point, it's not going to happen. Nico says, just don't hang up. Let's not talk about that anymore, my friend. Let's never talk about that one. Man, you don't even want to know how I had like some sink feeling, like as if you just are falling. I don't know. As if you forgot to take when I was a kid, when you forgot to take the meat out of the freezer, the chicken out of the freezer or whatever, pick the freaking meat, and your mom's saying, oh, I'm almost home. That type of scare is what I felt at that point. Maybe something else. Have you cleaned your room, all right, hours ago, and now you can hear the footsteps coming up or something like that. I don't know what to compare it with, but that was scary, man. I accidentally hung up. When do you think what do you think when this case is finished? I'm not sure what you mean with that. Geometric says, I forgot to take the milk out of the car. That's, I guess that's a problem, but not really, because, that's done and over with. If you forgot milk in the car, it depends. Maybe it's like -5 degrees where you're at. Do you know BC Backer? Not personally. I've spoken to him on Twitter, I think, and maybe somewhere else, but not in person, no. Little, 52 degrees. I still drank it. That's what? Okay, sure. All right. Fair enough. People be people. Ooh, on Twitter. All right. All right. I think we covered everything. So that's going to be it for our stream for today. Maybe I'll do another episode, maybe some news later today. We'll see what happens. See how it goes. And yeah, thank you guys all so much for stopping by, saying hi. You guys are amazing. You all know it. And see you guys again in another crypto video soon. So yeah. Adios.